Starfield is just around the corner. We've got to talk about the impressive ship customization in-game. Honestly, this feature is insane, and I can't wait to jump in and test things out. When we look at Bethesda games, the sandbox element attracts many players. Customization for starships in Starfield ranges from shields, cargo, crew, color, and hulls, to even cannons, cockpits, cowling, engines, and much, much more. Of course, you can just buy ships in Starfield. You don't need to build them. Or, let's be honest, you could steal them via piracy and hijack the NPCs you find out and about. Starfield presents players with two methods of starship customization. First, we have the shipbuilder mode, which allows you to customize nearly every aspect of the ship. This includes the paintwork to the ship's systems. Yes, you can paint it red to go fast and add a new engine or something along those lines. If some of you do that, do tell me by the way. Speaking of customization, I have something you might like. Just like upgrading your starships is critical for Starfield, you need to ensure you prepare your PC for Starfield, so you can play the game how it's meant to be played. AMD is Starfield's exclusive PC partner, and they've created a game bundle so you can prepare for Starfield. You can upgrade your PC with AMD Ryzen processors and AMD Radeon graphics cards for the best Starfield experience. Even better, you can receive a copy of Starfield with select Ryzen 7000 series CPUs and select Radeon 6000 and 7000 series GPUs, like the AMD Radeon 7900 XT. Much like optimizing your ships in Starfield, AMD Radeon GPUs get you the best FPS per dollar and feature better value than the competition. The AMD Radeon 7900 XTX features up to 24GB of video RAM and features such as DisplayPort 2.1, which future-proofs you for future tech and game releases. It's a fantastic upgrade for a smaller price than other flagship GPUs on the market. The AMD Adrenalin technology gives you control of your tech. Adrenalin allows you to view performance reports, install driver updates, and check your game stats from one convenient location. AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution means you can get a boost in frames for your games. Over 260 available and upcoming games are supported by FSR and FSR 2.1. So if you want to get ready for Starfield, click the link in the video description to learn more about AMD's tech. Don't forget, as AMD is Starfield's exclusive PC partner, you can get the game as a part of a bundle. Check it out today. See you there. I'm a big fan of making aesthetic choices when designing a ship. Think of it like this. Your ship is almost like having another character. When we look at shows like Star Trek or Star Wars, the main ship like the Enterprise or the Millennium Falcon is also a main character. After almost a decade of playing a game like Space Engineers, I'm keen to show off my ship and test it out. So how do we design these ships and then customize them? Before we do dive into deep facts of ship customization, we have to ask, how do we build and design these ships? The good news is there is more than one way to build ships in Starfield. You can fully customize your ships in full detail by landing at spaceports and speaking to the ship technician. This is your vendor for ships. You can buy and sell parts, make repairs, and more. Everything you see on this screen can be customized and upgraded. As I mentioned at the start of the video, this does include weapons, engines, fuel tanks, and shield generators, just to name a few. Starfield Shipbuilder mode is one of the other ways of building ships. This is a deep dive into customization and will connect with the customization features we discuss in this video. The Shipbuilder allows you to change anything from systems to the look of your ship. As you can see from the example on screen, you can quickly pull part of your ship off and then slot in another. Here we see the cockpit being removed and the habitat module being installed. But what about if you're in the final frontier? You can quickly modify certain bits of your ships on the fly using a menu. Naturally, you will need to go back to the spaceport to customize some big things. I doubt you can rip off your engine pod in the middle of space. That'd be a bit awkward. This menu option means you can just hop in a ship and modify something and take off instantly. You don't need to dive into the intense customization of ships. That is more intended for an endgame sort of thing. The Starfield Direct provided a good look at parts for your ship. The ship customization shipbuilder mode can add these we talked about in this video. Looking at the parts, we've got your weapons. These look like cannons, missiles, and potentially a laser beam. They've not been fully identified yet, but we also have the ship cowling, like armor placed over the ship, and the shield generator component. As I mentioned boarding earlier, you'll need a docker component. The clue's in the name here. It allows you to dock to other ships, stations, or whatever you find out there. Fuel tanks are an option to add. It does somewhat remind me of a Rocinante from The Expanse. Extra fuel will be needed to travel further, which is right next to the grav drive component. We also have a view of the habitat where your crew will be. We went over that just a minute ago. This is next to the cockpit. Now the cockpit can be expanded a fair bit in game. I've seen rather large, almost capital ship-like and then tiny bridges. We also got the bay. Now I wish there were ground vehicles we could load up, but for now it's our way in and out of a ship and our companions as well. I would like to know if modifying your ship will make a difference when visiting different planet types. For example, you might need a stricter landing gear if you're sort of landing on a stormy or icy planet. This is something to think about when exploring planets in Starfield. Will they affect your ship? We've not got much information on that yet, but it should be cool to learn more about it when we jump into the game in just a few weeks. While there are many customization options to choose from when designing your ship, we must discuss optimization. This is as much a critical feature as anything in Starfield. When selecting components for your ship, like new engines or weapons, you can fine-tune them for the best performance. Each component upgrade is not just a stat boost at the end of the day. These components you install are visible on the ship, just like the engines. Ship captains will need to think about balancing ship designs. Think about it like strengths and weaknesses. If you want the fastest ship in 12 parsecs, you'll need some big engines but a light hull. Too much weight and you won't be the Millennium Falcon anytime soon. If you build a heavy ship with tons of guns and more cowling to protect it, it will naturally be slower. This builds onto something very cool we'll talk about next. So, you're zipping around in a big ship, but you'll need to be cautious about how powerful things get. Much like optimization of the ship design, you can also optimize how it is used out in Starfield. With power management, you can divert power to different systems on board. We're all thinking about starting and diverting to the shields, be honest. Captain, I'm giving her all she's got. That was a terrible impression, but you get it. You can allocate more power to your ship's engines, if you need speed while running from pirates or say local law enforcement. This is provided you have the spare power to do so. The same goes for other onboard systems like lasers, ballistics, missiles, and even the shields and gravity drive. I suspect putting more power into the grav drive means it'll either charge faster or the jump distance will be increased a little more. Still handy for making a quick getaway when you think about it. Now you can customize the interior of your ship to a degree. The best thing is you can fully walk around in the interior of your ship and use stations on board. The parts you choose to build a ship will directly affect what goes on inside. For example, you can add crafting modules, or modules for storing weapons such as assault rifles and SMGs. Naturally, Starfield's various starship manufacturers bring their own unique look and feel to ship design. Thanks to the Starfield Direct, we can glimpse some ships with big bridges, cargo haulers, and more. This great shot of a control room sort of gives me Battlestar Galactica CIC vibes. Just look at it. As mentioned earlier, adding the habitat adds room for sleeping and living for your crew on board. You can walk through that section and explore it. You can pick up a gun for your next boarding mission, just like adding a module for your weapons. It's pretty cool. One of the core features of Starship customization in Starfield is that we can create truly unique designs as players. In the Direct, we saw how one of the developers made a ship that looked like a platypus. You can make ships that look like weird animals, sleek warships, or even transformers. Yes, we all saw that moment in the trailer of the Transformer taking off. It was funny, okay? You can design your ship to be practical, fun, sleek, or just downright ugly if you really want to do that. The only limit here is your imagination. Of course, there are limits to such things as your reactor output, the hard-coded limits of the build mode, and the scale and size, and also the likely performance of your PC. Peak response at the start of this video. Thankfully in Starfield, you're not limited by just one ship. You can actually own multiple craft. These can be ships you've designed yourself, or perhaps ones you've stolen out in the frontier, such as acts of piracy. Not quite sure how you'd steal a ship, but you know. You can board someone's ship and take it over, then go to a port and register it as your own. Be warned though, some ships if they've got like a red border on them, or a certain figure, maybe you won't get accepted in all ports if you've stolen a known ship. As mentioned earlier, you can purchase your ships or steal an NPC ship. This does cut out the need to fully build your own original ship, however, you can still customize the ships you have acquired elsewhere. This applies to both ships obtained legally, by purchasing it, or illegally via seizing it. You can maintain a whole fleet of ships if you so wish. You can easily mark your favorite ship as your home ship for quick access. Therefore, it remains easily accessible, and I love that. Naturally, with all these fun features, there has to be something of consequence when going out and about. This is ship maintenance. This could either be fun or a chore. It depends on which way you look at it. Ships will get damaged over time via dogfights, or if you crash it into an asteroid. Ships can be fixed up at spaceports, as we mentioned earlier. This will cost a fee, so you'll need some money. Crew members. While they make your ship look good and can be brought aboard, they have to be looked after. They're also necessary for the running of a ship. You'll need to assign them somewhere on the ship when they can put their skills to good use. Crew members can serve on a ship and travel around the galaxy with you. Each companion comes with unique skills for their ships and outposts they can be assigned to. They even have their own unique quest lines. Players can hire crew members to serve on ships or populate outposts around the galaxy. As mentioned, with each crew member having a unique skill set, you kind of have to think about where you put them. For example, on the screen I'm showing you now, you can see the character of Markia Boros is stationed on the Frontier, your main ship at the start of the game. They are an expert in ballistics, it appears, so putting them on the Frontier to oversee weapons would make sense, and you can see how that will increase your weapon stats on board your ship. Now, I'm personally excited about Vasco, our NASA-inspired robot. He's got some fantastic lines, and he can also greet you by name when you board your ship. So we can say, hello Captain Jack, or like he said hello to Captain Howard in this video.
Welcome back, Captain Howard.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Customization in Starfield is insane, especially when it comes to what you can do with your ships. When your ships have a primary way of getting around the Starfield galaxy, you'll want to customize them to your heart's content. I think customization is critical to the gameplay. I can't wait to get my hands on it when Starfield releases in the next few weeks. The game has just gone gold, therefore it's only a matter of time before we explore the final frontier in style. Stay tuned for more Starfield content. I will see you soon. I've been Captain Jack. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you very, very shortly in-game in Starfield.